Guys, I'm here to debunk a statement that I made last week. I said that Euphoria didn't feel like the same show anymore. But the more I watch it, the more I disagree. Rue is not sober after all, Cassie is naked again, and Maddie is back and still the baddest bitch in this entire show. So at the request of many families, we're doing this week by week. So subscribe down below if you want to watch me lose my mind slowly as the season progresses. And this week's episode should be called The Cassie and Nate Eating Shit Party, because they eat shit at a party. Nothing I love more than seeing bad people eating shit. But seriously, if we learn nothing from season 3 of Euphoria, let us at least start pushing for more people to film their shows on film. The cinematography, the colors of this show. Sure, it's more expensive, but I could honestly sit through bad media if it all looked like this. It's also one of the very few shows, if not the only show, that was fully filmed on film cameras. And I need someone to explain where the fuck Sam Levinson gets the budget. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe down below so you can follow along the journey as we go through the season. I'm excited for next week because it's going to be the wedding of hell. So Maddie's back, and I could not take my eyes off of her. Every time she's on screen, I was just, my jaw was on the floor. She just exudes cunt. And she arrived in town with no money, a suitcase full of clothes, and a plan. The plan to track down Miss Penzler and pitching herself for the job. Miss Penzler, hi, I'm Maddie Perez. I read your Wall Street Journal profile and I want to work with you. Oh, I appreciate that, but I'm not currently hiring. I know I'm not what you're looking for. I didn't go to USC. I didn't even apply to college. My parents were immigrants. I know my generation's entitled, but I don't believe anybody owes me anything. I'm not a victim. I won't be an HR nightmare, and I believe in capitalism. And as much as I wanted to celebrate how cunty this was, that she just walked in and got her job, I also can't help but feel like it's so cheesy and corny. Like what she says, like, I believe in capitalism. I won't be an HR nightmare. Because they keep hammering this idea that Gen Z are like this entitled generation that expects the world to give them something, and to some extent even millennials. And it's like, really, are we still doing that song and dance? Like, haven't we had enough of the bullshit? Let's get real, okay? When are we going to start crucifying boomers and Gen Xers, huh? Let's start there. Let's first crucify them before we continuously drag young people for being entitled. Like, look around, okay? Y'all f***ed it for us. And then we get COVID flashbacks. Ugh. During the pandemic, as we know, a lot of young people didn't care if they died or not, so a lot of them traveled west looking for fame, aka becoming TikTok stars. And this was indeed a phenomenon that happened, but I thought that we had moved past it. But then when you think about it, it's been like, what, 3 years since Euphoria was on air? 4? 4 years ago, COVID had already hit, and it was not addressed at all in the series. Or maybe it's just that the COVID to internet star to OnlyFans star is the only pipeline that makes sense in Sam's head as an empowering story to tell in today's day and age. Because it's the only storyline that you can have Cassie dressed up like a dog or a baby and call it television. So Maddie was working for this talent agency, but nobody was really working because of lockdowns, right? So she decided to take matters into her own hands, and she tracked down an influencer online and decided to become her career architecture. Something so cunty about Maddie this entire episode that I just kept wanting to, like, kiss her feet.
Feet? Feet. It's a huge fucking market.
Maddie's like the pimp of the online world. She grabs this girl, Caitlyn, grows her following to 1 million, and then it's time to cash in on all of those followers by creating an OnlyFans. And don't worry, you don't have to do full-on porn. You don't have to actually have sex on camera. You can just post nudes, tasteful nudes, classy nudes. See, it's all about the style, and it's all about the taste, and it's all about the aesthetics. It's all about having a purpose. You're not just gonna get naked and get into any position to be famous, right? You have to have a vision of presenting who you are. Well, yes. Maddie is also managing this actor, Dylan Reed, who Caitlyn is a fan of. So Maddie, businesswoman that she is, pitches Caitlyn to Dylan Reed. And she does that in this ridiculous fucking sofa in the middle of a park. And I'm not even gonna question the logic. Maybe the sofa really is there in real life. Like, that looks so good. Like, the framing of that sofa, but also anything to distract me from the plot. Dylan and Caitlyn meet, they hit it off, and end up in the headlines. And Maddie's boss confronts her. What the fuck is this? Dylan Reed charms porn star. She's pissed because Dylan is a TV actor, not cinema, but TV. And it still comes with a certain prestige. But Maddie's like, whoa, no. OnlyFans is a booming industry, and they're becoming mainstream, and soon enough, the transition from that. But she cuts her off, like, no, abso-fucking-lutely not. We represent actors, not porn stars. cut that shit out. So Maddie drops Caitlyn as a client, and 1 year later, Caitlyn celebrates making $700,000 in 1 month on OnlyFans. And she does this in such a ridiculous way, and it makes me think that Sam was writing this show for an older demographic than the people that actually care to watch it. Because here you have Caitlyn holding this massive big ass check. For anyone who said that you can't make a living on here, a real living, here you go. And if you want to create an account, do it using my promo code. I'm like, first of all, I dare you to find someone who says you can't make a living on OnlyFans when you are an objectively gorgeous woman. I dare you to find anyone who says that. But also, I don't think I've ever seen an OnlyFans creator with a promo code for people to create accounts on OnlyFans. I'm pretty sure that's not a thing, and if it is, I don't know that anyone uses that. They usually just promote their own shit. Use my promo code to create OnlyFans accounts? Who? If I've missed something, please let me know in the comments down below. I don't want to miss out on the party, okay? And then Cassie reaches out to Maddie on Instagram. I missed you. Can we get lunch? Going back to Rue, who has now been tasked with cleaning the club up and down. Look at how she's trying to unclog that toilet, splashing shit all over. Ugh. And also helping to cover up the death of Tish. Tish was the girl who overdosed in episode 1 because the drugs that Lori sold Alamo were laced with fentanyl. So Alamo calls Lori to sort shit out. He's looking for reparations because thanks to Lori's mistake, one of his girls died. Lori says, well, you hang out with whores, so who knows what they were doing. And then her man just calls him the N-word with like a really hard R at the end. He has a go at them and nearly loses his shit, but Lori is unrelenting. She refuses to pay for a mistake she didn't make. Except they did make a mistake. See, no one told Faye that she needed to clean the scales, so when she was divvying up the product, a little bit of fentanyl got mixed up with the ecstasy, and apparently a few grains of fentanyl are enough to... Yeah. Fentanyl is crazy. But Alamo doesn't want Lori to pay him anything. He just wants Rue. And Lori's man says, why do you even want Rue? She's half... And then the R slur. Sam loves himself an R slur. But you know what? It's not as bad as that one line in The Idol. Do you guys remember when that piece of shit Zionist said, yeah. It's the type of edgy dialogue that I bet hits so hard if you're 14 living in the middle of buttfuck nowhere and all your friends are from 4chan. Yeah. But Alamo's being really reasonable. He's like, well, you killed one of my now I'm getting one of yours. And Lori, for the first time, I think, in her life, loses it and gets really angry. And she says, you're a real pig. Alamo takes real offense to that word, but she hangs up. And later in conversation with his associates, Alamo says that the only thing worse than being called the N-word is being called a pig, because pigs eat their own shit. So what Lori is insinuating is that he eats his own shit. But Alamo wants to remind Lori who put her ass on the map in the first place, because apparently, before Alamo, Lori was just a low-life nobody. After the cleanup job, Rue is promoted and starts working at this club. And she starts eye-fucking one of the strippers called Angel. Angel is a gorgeous, very feisty stripper who was best friends with Tish. And she starts asking around where her friend is because she hasn't shown up to work in a long time. And on one of the nights, Angel invites Rue to have some fun. She has some leftover party favors, and they and I found out that the actress that plays Angel was born in like 2002, and the concept of people that were born after the year of 2000 currently playing adults on screen, I don't like it. I don't like it, no. But you're probably wondering, wait a minute, party favors. I thought Rue was sober. You told us last week that she was sober. I did. I was wrong. Rue explains that a few years prior, she used to visit Jules while Jules was going to art school, and things weren't the same since high school. They weren't the same as they were in high school, but we finally see Jules back on our screens. She was mentioned in episode 1, and she's currently a sugar baby, but she will make an appearance later in the episode. I don't know why they showed us this. I guess it was to say that Rue had a relapse years ago, and then she calls her mom in tears, telling her that she is sober now and desperately begging to come home. And the scene is as sad and heartbreaking as it is gorgeously shot. Look at the, oh my god, Sam, I fucking hate you. Zendaya's working overtime for that fucking Emmy this year again. 3 in a row? Could you imagine? Oh my god, her power. She does tell Jules later in the episode that she is California sober, so she only drinks and smokes weed, nothing that will destroy her life. And I think the show is leaving that purposefully vague because we haven't seen her do any hard drugs. I also haven't seen her as high as she used to be. Like, she looks like sober Rue. So maybe she actually is California sober. Also, Rue and Maddie hang out and they speak like one-on-one. I don't think we've ever seen Rue and Maddie just speaking one-on-one in the same room. And I think it's so that we finally brought the two baddest in the entire show for a conflab. And Maddie's getting ready for a meeting. And Rue's like, with who? And her answer... Maddie! Honestly, if those are not the two defining traits of Cassie. Like, how sad that Cassie's been reduced to a literal walking stereotype. Speaking of, she's got 3,614 followers, and she's already doing the doggy photo shoots for 3,000 people. That is insane. See, Maddie made sure that Caitlyn got to 1 million followers before she started heavy posting spicy content, right? Cassie just goes in for the kill because Cassie's got nothing going on up here. Nothing, is just empty. At 3,000 followers, she's not even making money. These are levels of desperation that are really difficult to understand. And Rue even says, it's a shame that Cassie is still with Nate because Cassie is exactly the type of girl that Maddie would want to represent because she's beautiful, but clueless. Very easy to manipulate and guide. Then it cuts to Cassie doing another nude photo shoot. I guess we're back to square one. Cassie taking pictures of herself naked. Before it was to send to guys, and now it's to post for guys. You know, some things never change after all. And she's going through all of the special interests of the internet. A photo shoot with ice cream, a photo shoot with the American flag. She's naked with sports gear. She's dressed as a baby. She's trying to catch as many perverts in her following as she possibly can. How to mass catch predators to fatten my wallet. Yes, you know what I support? I support the business venture because what else is she gonna do? I'm not joking. Like, what else is this character gonna do? The other one got 700,000 in a month. All she needs is 50 grand for the flowers. That's a lot of money. Yes. Cassie wants men who fantasize about babies to bankroll her wedding, her special day. So Cassie and Maddie meet. Cassie's already at the pool waiting for her. In comes Maddie. She looks the good. She looks like a mobster wife who lost her husband recently in a weird accident and she's now been taking care of all the family business. She's doing a great fucking job at it. Cassie, look at her face. She's eating shit. Cassie's eating shit she hasn't even smelled yet. Cassie's eating shit she didn't know could exist. Maddie gets there and Cassie's like, you look amazing. She can't believe her fucking eyes, and neither can I. Look at her. What are we gonna do when she stops acting for good? And Cassie, in this reunion, apologizes, says that she should have asked for permission when she started dating Nate, and then says that she found the love of her life at the cost of the other love of her life. And that's when Maddie realized that Kathy waited all these years to prove to herself that her and Nate were going to go the long way so she could clear her conscience. So Maddie went in for the kill. I forgive you. 3 Aperol spritz in and the truth starts coming out. And for some reason, Cassie has turned into a Love Island bimbo. Like a brainless bimbo.
I just feel like if more people knew me, I would be huge.
And it's either a very specific acting choice or they truly had no idea what to do with this woman. Cassie says that if more people knew of her, she would be huge. Because, you know, at the parties that she throws, when it's a pool party, all of the wives get angry at her because all of their husbands pay attention to Cassie. You know, she makes everybody stop in their tracks and look at her. She's so gorgeous. She's wondering how all of these other women are making so much money when Cassie looks better than them. And Maddie reads this in such a classy way. It's like, oh, darling, it's much more than just being pretty. It's all about promotion, knowing the right people, having good taste, the ability to discern quality and a high aesthetic standard, which you do not possess. Cassie's still convinced that she has taste because in Cassie's mind, and this is what's more sad, Cassie's always been told that she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, and she is, absolutely. But in the online world, it really isn't about who's the prettiest or who is the best. There's a lot of strategy that goes behind making your account known to so many people, behind growing an account. It's not just about being pretty and posting pictures. That used to be the way, you know, back when not a lot of people were trying to do the same. Yeah. Maddie asks Kathy if she wants her professional opinion. And Cassie's like, yes, finally. I mean, this is why I'm here. Maddie's like, that's why you're here. Okay. I think Maddie is plotting like a real late revenge against Cassie. And honestly, do it. Maddie says that it's coming across like she's trying too hard instead of just being. Cassie's like, being what? Maddie's like, yourself. Cassie says, but who am I? And that is a great fucking question because Cassie has no fucking clue who she is. That's why she's going through all of these niches, you know, the food niche, the sports niche, the baby adults loving niche. She just wants to hit as many ticking boxes as she can, and that's the surest way to make yourself look like a pathetic, desperate mess. Cassie is desperate, and she's like, I can be anything. She also unconvincingly says that Nate is okay with her doing nudes, so they're gonna have some fucking fun. Just no class. Absolutely classless. Next up, Cal Jacobs is back, and RIP to Eric Dane. He had the best name and the best face. I didn't realize that he had filmed episodes for Euphoria season 3, but I did read that he was already at an advanced stage with his illness, and I think they made accommodations for him to participate in the series. He's back. He went from being the town's top real estate developer to a broke sexual deviant who narrowly avoided prison. I thought he was in prison from last episode, but I guess not. And Cal catches up pretty quickly to the fact that Nate might be in a financially difficult position because word on the street is Cassie is spreading her legs online for OnlyFans. But Nate assures him that he is all good, except he's not. See this guy? Nate owes him $550,000, but because he doesn't have the money to pay him, he's just coming up with a bunch of excuses and bullshit like, oh, it's so difficult to get permissions in California, but listen, I want you to be the sole provider of blah, blah, blah when this complex is built. So Nate's trying to bullshit his way out of owing this guy so much money that he'd rather go into more business, promising more revenue that he doesn't have and won't have just to get out of paying the money that he does owe and also doesn't have. But Nate's finding out that the real world is all about eating shit and learning lessons. And the guy's like, no. You owe me $550,000. My business is booming. I don't need you. In a couple weeks, that $550,000 will go up to $600,000 and it'll keep climbing. So why don't you, by Friday this week, pay me $100,000 for starters? Good. And Nate's just there, eating shit. Ooh, Nate eating shit party. I'm going to throw it. But Nate and Cal also have a brief, interesting conversation about Cal's past sexual escapades. It seems like Cal is still in denial. He's still not accepting of the fact that he's gay or that he likes men, even though he was fucking men. Nate even says, you were fucking men. What do you mean you're not gay? And Cal's like, well, I was the pitcher, not a catcher. My darling, my love, let me hold your hand when I tell you this. That's not how it works. But also, the nerve of this man to pass judgment on a woman doing OnlyFans when he was literally assaulting minors in hotel rooms. So, like, Cal, maybe sit this one out. You should literally be in prison. But Nate is getting ready for a dinner party that he's throwing for investors because he's got no money. I love Nate being broke. I love that for him. Back to Rue, who's having a really interesting arc this episode. She's sort of becoming the other side of the coin that she lived on for 2 years. She tells Angel that Tish OD'd in hopes that Angel will get some closure and finally be able to move on. But that just makes it worse. And she starts acting out, drinking a lot, blacking out, and that becomes a problem for the business because she's unable to work. Luckily, Alamo has rehab facilities on speed dial because when you own as many clubs as he does, it's good to have these places in your back pocket, just in case. And Rue's almost touched at the kindness, like a drug dealer would care so much for his employees that he would send them to rehab instead of just dumping them on the street or even, you know. And he tells Rue, if you're able to handle all of this, a promotion may be waiting for you. And Rue is climbing the ladder of success, of course. It's an unconventional career, but it's a career nonetheless. So she convinces Angel, after a lot of screaming and shoe throwing, to go to rehab. But it's clear that Angel is scared. She says that more people go missing in California than anywhere else in America. Like there's an evil gravitational pull. It's like she's afraid of being disappeared without saying it. And when they get to the rehab facility, there's no paperwork, there's no check-in or anything. She just walks in because they were expecting her. And when Rue leaves, there's someone outside watching the facility who could be one of Alamo's associates. So I'm thinking that maybe Angel really is gonna get disappeared. But back to the couple that loves eating shit. It's the dinner party for friends with money. Also, he can them and hopefully get some financing because he needs to pay the other guy $100 grand. Meanwhile, Cassie decides for some goddamn reason to show one of the wives the photos that she's taken recently. And the woman goes through the photos until she lands on the adult baby and she's like, whoa, Why are you dressed like a baby? Cassie explains that there's a whole subculture of adult babies online. Ew, who wants to see an adult baby? Some people do. It's huge. I keep getting all these different requests. Teething rings, bassinets. Some people even want to see me wear a diaper. It's like someone lobotomized Cassie. Like, did she go through a lobotomy? Look at her. She doesn't feel like a person. She feels like a caricature of a person. Like a caricature of a caricature of a person. And her friend is weirded the fuck out. She's like, whoa, that's sick. Why are you doing that? And Cassie's answer really summarizes her personality. Well, if I don't, somebody will. It's just supply and demand. And she tells her husband immediately. She says, what I saw was very disturbing, so he will look into it. Cut 2. Nate tells Cassie to show him her phone in front of the guy and his wife. And this confrontation was very interesting. He wants to see her phone because rumor on the street is it that she is spread eagles on the internet for everybody to see. Cassie's like, but you gave me permission, and this wouldn't even be a problem if you could afford the wedding and we weren't having any money problems in front of the man that's supposed to be investing in Nate's business. Yes. Nate is still a piece of shit, but he's like a very subdued version of what he used to be. Cassie's standing up to him. She's like, no, I'm not going to delete my account unless you pay for the fucking flowers, which is why I have the account in the first place. So he promises to buy the flowers and she happily deletes the account. But like, she strong arms him in front of his guy friend. And Nate, that I know, would probably beat someone to death with the anger that he feels right now. This Nate, pillow talk in bed. It's just that there was a lot of secrets in my family and I don't want to have secrets. The fuck is this redemption tour that Nate's been on? No, me gusta. There is no redemption for this character. Let's just start there. First of all, never going to be any redemption for Nate Jacobs. Nate can burn in hell. He should probably burn in hell. I hope he does. But they talk, and Cassie tells him that she spoke to Maddie. And he's like, my Maddie? And she's like, no, my Maddie. And he's like, we're talking about my ex-girlfriend. And she's like, well, she was my best friend. And something really funny about these two arguing about who cared more for Maddie, who was Maddie more important to, guys, that just means you lost. Cassie also says that she invited Maddie to the wedding, and Nate asks, as revenge? And Cassie says, I hate to break it to you, babe, but not everyone's in love with you. Followed by a long, awkward silence or an acting malfunction. And then they kiss tenderly. It's a semi-romantic scene, right? Then it's a hard cut to Faye getting her back blown the f out by a white supremacist Nazi in front of the Nazi flag. It was like I can't show any of it because it's just shock value, you know? Euphoria isn't that different after all, I told you. And then they're interrupted because there's a pig upstairs causing absolute mayhem, shitting all over the place, and there's a message attached to him. Remember the Alamo. And then we get Jules. Jules is finally back. Rue visits her at her apartment, or at least the apartment she's living at, and it's in this high-rise building. Her apartment is a luxury loft suite. I don't even know. It's big, and it looks like it belongs to a finance tech bro who never spends any time at home, and he's just decorated his home to look like the most soulless corporate sex pad I've ever seen. There is a literal armchair in the middle of the room with a lamp on top of it. Fortunately, this was not Jules's decorative instincts. She's living here because this is her boyfriend's place, the boyfriend that has a wife and kids, I think. Jules says that she doesn't believe in monogamy when Rue tries passing judgment, and I agree with Jules. I also don't believe in monogamy. I respect it, I just don't believe in it. And Rue is being very flirty, and I don't think I've ever seen Rue flirting so much. She's like really laying it on thick. She's talking about how she works at a club now. She's always surrounded by beautiful women constantly throwing themselves at her. And Jules tells her, you can't expect to show up here after all these years like nothing's happened. And that crushes Rue's heart a little bit. And then Jules goes and runs herself a bath and was like, oh, okay, I'll just finish this drink and go. And then Jules says invitingly, you're not going to keep me company. And though I love the energy, I also feel like we're maybe sacrificing storytelling for the vibes, the moments, the memeable moments, the moments that you can share online and talk about ad nauseum. Speaking of moments that you can speak about ad nauseum, why was Rosalia on this show? She played a stripper called Magic, and she had a neck brace. And she only spoke in Spanish, but she was saying that she needs to keep the brace on in case someone sends a private investigator to check that she actually has an injury because she's suing someone like completely disconnected from the main story, like just dropped on the show for no reason in this episode. I hope she makes another appearance in future episodes because it was fun. I am starting to like more and more Cassie and Nate, not because the story is good or the acting is good, but because it's so jarring to watch and so funny because they're so absolutely ridiculous and pathetic, both of them. Like the way these characters just keep losing in life because they peaked in high school is just heartwarming to me. And Maddie being back on our screens, but also Maddie's so much better now. I feel like she's the one who grew like she should have. Like the character growth I see in Maddie is what I wish I could see in everyone. It's too early to say about Jules because we haven't seen much of her, and I think the next episode will focus on her and the wedding from hell. So we'll wait and see until then. But for now, some of the storylines are actually entertaining me, which is awful to say. I do think that once again, we're falling into this trap of creating moments that are better shown individually in a vacuum. Like Maddie and Cassie's conversation out of context is so funny. Seeing Cassie eat so much, looking at Maddie realizing, fuck, she's the one who won in life. Yes, I have Nate. But was that really a prize? I don't think so. We've all met Nate, right? We've seen him. That's no fucking prize. But she can't admit that to herself. So she's gonna obsess over this wedding and absolutely have a mental breakdown. I can just feel it coming. And I can't wait. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video and you want to continue following along the journey of Euphoria, we are going to do the whole season. Or if you just want to watch any of my other regularly scheduled content as well, then make sure to subscribe down below. Click that bell notification so you never miss a future upload from me. And also follow me on my socials. I give a lot of updates there, which I should probably move to YouTube as well. So there's that. Thank you again for tuning in. And until next time, stay safe, stay sane, stay stupid, and stay stuttering. Bye.